Yeah, I'm gonna. But
Awesome.
let's see if it's on there yet. Oh, it's not on yet.
Takes maybe like a minute.
Let's see. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on.
Okie dokie, phenomenal. Let me share that as well.
I'm just glad I was able to focus long enough to return the message. And was I a week off? Was it last week? We.
I think it was maybe like a week or week and a half. I don't even remember.
I don't
It,
either.
it sometimes takes me 4 or 5 days to reply to someone as well. Sometimes it's
Yeah,
much longer, and that's okay.
yeah. Mine sometimes are 3 and 4 months. But but I think there's something to be said for no response. I mean, there's so much going on. People, it's a full-time job being yourself, isn't it?
Oh, it is full-time job to get there and stay there and grow from there for myself. I love that you are asking about it and talking about it because we were driving, myself and my beloved, my wife, we were driving from Orlando here to our home. It took us about 2 hours, and in that time I allowed myself to zone out and be half in meditation, half asleep, and just be in that energy. And it just felt like this is going to be one of the best chats ever.
Are you talking about this month? Do you say?
uh, today,
Today?
today,
Yeah,
you just yeah.
yeah. Like it feels like 2 days ago. Something really big. Maybe it was the eclipse. I don't know, but God,
It
just
was a huge energy. It was a huge energy. Today I feel entirely different energy, like an open portal, like the veil of consciousness is so much thinner.
yeah,
It's like so easy to feel and see whatever it is in another dimension here and now.
yeah, yeah. How about on the body? Is it giving you any challenges on the body?
Yes, yes. So as long I'm eating lighter, meaning veggies, fruit, mostly fruit, as little cooked as it's possible, it's doing really well and it has so much to offer to others. It is such a good channel for the light, but as soon I'm eating a little bit heavier cooked, sometimes there is maybe dairy or other products in my foods, very sometimes. And then that happened 2 weeks ago and it took me about a week and a half to recover.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to eat yesterday or today. I had a
Oh,
glass of juice yesterday
uh-huh.
and a glass of juice today. Like eight
Wow.
hundred 800 meals. And water. Yeah.
Wow.
My body just told me you're not eating.
Wow.
And I'm
That's
like,
really good.
well, I don't know. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
feels, I mean, what? It's been 5 weekends in a row. It's just been
Oh.
crazy. And this weekend is already starting with a bang. I
With
can't,
a boom.
yeah. Either you can't sleep or either you can't sleep or you can't sleep enough.
And how do you feel that in your body? How do you feel that in your structure?
I just feel like my whole body's being scraped, like just
Yeah.
scraped out. Like
Wow.
it's kind of a weird feeling,
Yes.
and
It's
the drowsiness, the difficulty in just trying to do basic things like answer
oh
emails and
oh
messages.
wow.
You know
Oh
what I mean? Like
wow.
human things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can do them, but it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. So last weekend exactly you mentioned words stripped down. So last weekend exactly that's how I felt. Fully or for me it was kind of all at once because there is like kind of a structure I keep myself in specific frequency, but then it felt like all of the layers are stripped down. I no longer know what I like, what I don't like. I
Yeah,
no longer know what is the best for me to do. I just need to be in that space of nothingness, just being, and that's what I did.
yeah. Whatever you need comes.
Hmm.
It's weird.
Exactly.
It's just weird, and it's weird going to the grocery store, or I dropped my laundry off today, and it was weird. It's
Oh,
just weird, like going out into the world. I feel like I'm on another
yeah.
planet.
Because it feels like that. Because it's like we are walking in two dimensions at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of we're kind of functioning in this old world, and in the same time we are in another.
Yeah, at least one other. It could be
Yes,
more. Do,
definitely.
do you feel like everybody's feeling
I know everyone can. There is no doubt about that. I know everyone can and is fully capable of. I am, and definitely people are feeling these sensations, every single one. But because we have, especially if we are like me in the past, before more, more fully woke up, I would assign these sensations and give them all the meaning. I would never give those sensations a new meaning. So, because the body and the psyche is so numbed in current reality by this type of unhealthy food and water and alcohol, drugs, at least that was my past. It was such a numbness. So, definitely, I felt something is happening, but I didn't have a full connection with myself to be able to see it, to read it, and use it.
it? And you feel like the veil's just like right there, right? I mean, it's
Right now, yeah. Like literally, I feel in my throat a message that wants to be shared and opened, and I feel like it's just like so much is available right now to see and feel and know.
Are you having any experiences right now, like visitation or in meditation or?
So I have been, I call that visions. I call that visions because that's the least scary for someone else to hear if they have not have it themselves. I've been having them for a few years now, nearly every day, and there were times when it was a lot. Um, so I've been having yesterday like communications, connections, a few different dimensions, few different messages. When I had a session with my client 2 days ago, I knew it straight away what was the session she had with another client. So the knowing is, it's just like you said. Okay, this here.
Yeah, yeah. Are you getting any feel or any idea for what's coming or what's here? Some people are talking about the flash right now, like in this period,
Oh,
like we could
oh,
actually experience a flash in the next 2 or 3 days. I mean, I
oh.
know people have said this before, and we can break it down so many different ways. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's going through it in their own way, but
Hmm.
it sure feels like it sure feels. I don't know what the word is, but
It feels because it's so. I know one thing that my old mind, to keep me kind of safe, it wants to give an old meaning, old
right,
description, old label, even if the experience is new, to keep me in a safety zone,
right,
aka killer zone, right? So if something happens, if I'm having a meditation and all of a sudden I see a being approaching me and coming to me with love, the old mind doesn't want it. It's like, are you crazy? Don't 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 allow it, don't interact it, god forbid, don't say to anyone, because you will be labeled, crazy or this or that. So it is normal with all of these experiences that there is that other part of us, that more ancient part of us, the survival part of us that wants things to be as they are. But the way I feel it, what's happening right now for all of us, is a beautiful opening.
yeah,
And the message, I received myself this message at the beginning of the year in January. I could feel it and see it in December, but I didn't dare to even go there and feel it fully and talk about it. I seen signs everywhere, signs for me to read, signs for me to read the message, if that makes sense. Because different signs will bring different message for you and for John and for Mary, and for me they were these specific signs I could see everywhere. And by February, I knew, oh, wow, it's happening so much faster that I could even predict. So, the way I'm seeing how we are moving on in this age, in this time, now moment, to another stage, to another chapter is I compare it to chakras, because it's easier for someone to, instead of just analyzing, to feel it with their heart. So each time I share the message, I try to involve, invite people to listen with your heart. Like the first connection we had that was lasting only 15 minutes because of internet, all I could feel was your massive heart opening. You have a massive heart, massive heart chakra opening. It is not disturbed by anything. So the way I see it is like when we live in survival without waking up, it's all the first three energy centers. The first one, the second, and the third one. And it is, reproduction, survival, elimination, receiving information, light/food, releasing that, processing or not knowing how to process it. So it gets stuck, emotions, trauma, relationships, food, all that stuff. So when we learn as we wake up, we tune in into our hearts. We wake up our hearts. We forgive the past. We activate the heart center through love, compassion, forgiveness, and listening to our own hearts with that fifth center.
Yeah.
So this is what my understanding is more easier way to explain what is 5D way of being is to, with this fifth center, listening to my heart's desires, to my truth, my sovereign heart, and bringing into expression.
Right.
So anytime I do session with someone who has blocked throat, it isn't just about speaking and shouting. The first activation is by you listening with that center to your heart.
Right.
Listening, what is it that you desire? What is it that you love? What is it that you would like to say and express in this life? So the fifth dimension, it would be from the fifth road, expressing. So that's why we talk about it.
Yeah.
That's why your show is called 5D. It's the fifth center. We are expressing through the power of the heart what we believe needs to be expressed today.
Yeah.
And I believe that right now we're moving so quickly into the sixth dimension. I don't know if the term all at once, everyone, no one gets left behind, if that is something that message I'm receiving. I'm receiving message that all of that is available for everyone, but you got to do your work, instead of being in resistance and running away from it, you're more surrendering and working with it. And the sixth center is about seeing. Is about seeing what is not seen in this dimension. So it's pineal gland. It's those crystals, when they get activated through the breath or meditation, they release melatonin. They release like a milky substitute that it allows you. It is literally like an antenna. If you will read Dr. Joe Dispenza book, Becoming Supernatural, it talks about that center picking up information from quantum field.
Right.
So it's seeing with your internal eyes. I can see now with eyes open as well. That's what isn't seen in this dimension. So bringing sixth dimension into this reality, which is seeing other beings walking amongst us, which is seeing what's happening here and now, which is feeling, allowing yourself to feel that touch, of your let's say, family of light that it is around you, allowing yourself to feel it actively. And there was a big vision of the flash that I seen 2 years ago. And I seen it that if you want, I can share with you that vision.
Yes.
I will share with you that vision. Let me just finish that with the sixth way of being dimension is actively using these centers, actively using through the power of the heart and love and forgiveness and passion, but living in your passion, what you came here to experience, not just Kim Kardashian, not just being someone else, Elvis Presley, but being you. Being the phenomenal you came here to be, expressing that and allowing yourself to see more beyond, see more and beyond through that center. So that's the messages I've been receiving December, January, February, constantly, like boom, like a signal sent, is she's gonna pick it up or not. And I'm driving and I'm seeing 6. On my phone, everyone had 5G. Like, have in the corner 5G? All I had is 6 all the time. Like, how come everyone has 5G and I have on my phone 6G? I'm passing by and all of a sudden I see everywhere those 5G stations, right?
Yeah.
Those those blocks everywhere. All of a sudden I see them. Before I didn't see them. I see them, six of them, six of them, six of them, six of them. What's going on? What's going on? And I'm tuning in with that guidance in that kind of moment of surrender without thinking much. And I'm tuning in, what is it all about? Why so many people waking up? Because the more need, and the more need it is for light workers, the more it will be. So that's why so many people is waking up earlier to shine the light and show the way for those just a step behind them. That doesn't mean that it's less or lower.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it
I
makes
don't know
total
if
sense.
that there is.
It
Yeah.
makes total
How do you,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you see that? I would love to
See what?
hear. How do you see yourself expressing through your fifth energy center and then through your sixth, seeing these other dimensions happening here and now?
Yeah. No, I resonate with it. And I've said for a long time there's something about the throat chakra, because the throat chakra has 5 sensory qualities like sound, so it has somewhat of a physical quality, but it also has the invisible, right? I mean, so to me, I've never heard somebody explain it like you did, but to me it's pretty obvious that there's something very powerful about expression now, especially the more heart-centered the expression is, the more inspirational it is, the more reverent it is, or the more, respectful and honorable and loving. There's something about it that's, and of course I do what I do, but to me, the most powerful part of it for me is people just talking about how they feel, where they're at, what's going on, because in those stories are these incredible stories. Like, I don't remember all the details, but like you were talking like a little over a year ago, you were doing something else, and then you start to wake up and you meet this beautiful beloved partner, and then the whole journey starts, and you go to Mexico and that whole thing happened, and and here you are. Like here we
In
are,
Florida.
and people are talking about the flash, which
Yeah.
I've never really thought in literal terms, this is going to happen, or this could happen, or even that it was worth even paying any attention to, because it's kind of got a savior mentality to it, like a, so, but now I think anything's possible.
Yes.
I mean, I can't even imagine what Monday's going to be like. This weekend is already, I can feel it. I feel like I'm going to jump out of my body.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the up leveling. The energy is so high.
Do you have any, I think I asked you this before, but I'm just curious, especially in relation to like recent information that you get when you plug in every day, but like galactic, do you have any like galactic connections? Or do you are you feeling like you're getting any specific instructions or information from galactics?
So I had that before. I was more dove maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I had a lot of experiences. I was very dearly devoted to my meditation practice, that it was based on going deep, 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 deep. And often I would fly away, disappear, and I would bring information, and I would just allow myself to go deeper and deeper and deeper. If my body needed to shake, I allowed my body to shake. If I seen a vision, an invitation from heavenly realms, I would follow it. Even if I would be shaking because the body is in fear, or the frequency is so high that you just shake. You just shake throughout the whole session. And I would do that, and I would meditate for 3-4 hours a day, every single day. That's what I was guided to do.
Wow.
And I've had lots of information, lots of things that they made sense to me, lots of information on what is it, who am I, what is the structure, what is behind, what is above me. So I would have lots of that information, connection to people as well who are having this information or a part of it.
Wow. Wow. And like in terms of like your relationship,
Mm.
there's a lot of talk about sacred union, sacred sexuality, heriosgamos, the power of some of these, and certainly individuals, but I mean, some of these couples seem to be
Mm.
displaying a new level or a embodied embodying level of
Mm.
higher level of unconditional love or whatever you want to call it. Have
Mm.
you had experiences with your partner where through your intimacy, whether it be what we might think intimacy is, or holding hands, or taking a walk,
Mm.
or sitting on the couch together, whatever, have you had experiences where information or things happen and it seems to be related to the frequency that you're creating with your partner?
Mm. Yes. So before we got together face to face in Mexico, which was a year ago and 2 weeks,
Wow.
exactly to the dot. Um, we were in a committed relationship for a few months, and during that time, before we even uh, open up, before I'm the one who said, oh, I cannot hold it back, and oh, I have to tell you what's going on. Um, I would see Andrea literally materializing in my room and being next to me the moment I would be closing my eyes
Wow.
or the moment I would be meditating. And the experience was so profound that it felt more real than holding this crystal or a cup
Right.
of cacao that I'm drinking. The experience was going so deeply through the cells, energy, emotions. There's something you cannot simply forget. I remember before, I don't know about you, but I just never liked that stage in between your emotions are out in open before
Mm-hmm.
you say it. When is
Mm-hmm.
the right time to say it? Is that person feels the same way or not? am
Right.
i am i crazy? What's
Right.
going on? I feel absolutely crazy about that person. Oh my god, is this person feeling the same way or not? But my heart constantly tells me yes, yes, yes. And there was a moment when I felt like I don't know what to do. I'm done with it. I want out. I want out. Get me out of
Just one
here.
time?
That was at the beginning, like maybe few 2 3 weeks after I met Andrea online, uh, through the group meditations and the things we do more now together. Um, and I remember I would actually at this time have such a deep, like a drive to be connected to the moon. So I would place on the floor in living room was a huge massive window in my house. The moon would be shining through the window on the floor. So I
Mm.
would place there like a yoga mat and a duvet, and I would sleep on it to heal my body a little bit more. Instead of just bed, I would have moon shining on me, and I was fully going into the nighttime sleep to relax, detach, and next day I will follow the guidance. Probably I will just turn everything off because I'm tired of this not knowing. And the second I put my hand down, Andrea, as soon I close my eyes, Andrea just materialized next to me with a smile, deep, deep peace, because Andrea's energy is very peaceful. And that was not the first time, but that was the first time, like really strong one. There was few times we were meditating in a group environment, and Andrea would materialize over here in the same time doing meditation, guiding meditation from Florida. I was in Scotland. That's another experience that it wasn't just like like a
Right.
little, I don't
Right.
know, blow. No, it was a full on someone is sitting here. But before I met Andrea, I believe Andrea's soul came and set my chakras on fire in my meditation, gave me full Kundalini awakening. So there was a lot. There was a lot of that before we met. So when I met Andrea, I just knew it. I just knew it. For 3 days, my mind was trying to make me feel that, no, you cannot just know. You cannot just know. You have to have a proof. And I think within those 3 days, I just allowed myself to surrender and just feel what I feel to that person before even talking. I just knew it. I just knew it. I was just there somewhere in the crowd, but the connection just went so fast. And you ask, is there this specific energy? I believe it's based on not us being special and different than the rest of the world. I believe it's based on the work we did on healing our own human stuff first.
Yeah.
Because there was a huge part of my journey where I was doing a lot spiritually as a being of light. But the human part was, like, I don't actually know how to deal with that situation, not that situation.
Yeah.
So we did, both of us, we did a lot of work internally on healing codependence, on healing these wounds. So when we get together, it's a difference when you get together as a wholeness, when you get together to share frequency instead of get something to fill you up. That's a totally different thing. That's a whole different frequency. And I believe that's what gave us the opportunity to match up the level and depth of the presence we can hold, which is the capacity for the light,
Right.
and allowed us to realize, oh my goodness, because even when we created a retreat, we had like, guys, you are a spectrum of light. You're so different, both of you, but it's such a wholeness spectrum of light. Andrea has qualities I don't have. I have qualities Andrea doesn't have. None of us is more or less.
Right.
We're our own wholenesses, and we share it. And there is a magnetic frequency and energy. There was a lot to learn and work as well, and I believe every day is a school day in this department. But before we met, Todd, when we were actively in a relationship, before we met, I had nearly every day Andrea's energy coming to me. Huge energy, huge presence. The same was happening when I was asleep, deep in the middle of my night, not knowing about it. Andrea would be experiencing my energy in a very profound way.
Wow. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, we merged for 18 months before she ever came over first time.
Wow.
So we merged first 2 weeks. We merged all the chakras, but we did it often. And even like I think it was 2 nights ago, 2 nights ago. We both knew, like you're talking about, like you just know. And I'm like, we need to do a session. So we connected, and that stuff started happening again, like in a almost like in a brand new way, really in a brand new way.
Wow.
And so the sacral chakras merged, and there was a lot more to it than that. I mean, it's really more important, I think, because it's indicative of what's available, like you said. Like what's available out there. What's accessible? What can we tap into? And something definitely shifted, no doubt. It was very cool. Yeah, very cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
when
beautiful.
you can feel the other person in a physical sense, that's just, you can't argue with that. How do you discount that?
Exactly. And it's so different from anything I experienced before. It's literally wholeness to wholeness. It is not body to body or body part to body part or energy to energy or ID to ID, emotion to emotion. Is a wholeness to wholeness. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. Not everything, in my life is like that 24/7. But when we talk energy wise and those different special relationships, I believe the foundation is to heal first that human side, that
Yeah.
codependence that majority of us unfortunately are living by. This is what we've been conditioned into, and we asked for it to expand, so
Of
so the
course.
soul can expand. not by repeating what it's already learned, but doing something new. And Todd, I don't know if you will agree with me, but I truly feel the pain of the whole world because majority of people don't know how to be in a relationship. Majority of people, and I'm not talking just relationship in a romantic way, I'm talking about any relationship. And I didn't realize until the last 2 years how people are suffering through loneliness and separation,
Yeah.
and being unable to create a healthy, loving relationship with another being and
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the code dependency template is
Hmm,
is the number one template in the old paradigm.
that's the
Because
truth.
even if you look
Wow.
at if you look at the realm itself, it's patriarchal. So it's immediate. It's not, and that doesn't mean masculine. It just means patriarchal, which is obviously
Mm,
in favor or falsely empowering the masculine, which
mm,
creates a challenge for all of us. But that patriarchal is kind of a narcissist, right? I mean,
mm,
it's not do it's do what I say, not what I do. I mean, it's
mhm.
you know what I mean. It just doesn't
Yeah,
work, and so yeah, I think a lot of people have. We've all been enslaved by that. Many of us have broke away from that, and I think more people are questioning things now.
that's
Uh,
amazing.
but yeah, it just seems like over the last few weeks, almost everyone that comes on, like you, like practitioners come on, and say, "Man, more people are waking up." I mean, it's just
Yep.
more people are waking up. The sensitivities are getting more acute. Abilities, uh, multidimensional experiences. You
Mm,
just go right down the list, and everything's increasing. And my only question is, how many of us are there? Like,
mm.
I mean, and I don't know that it even matters. I mean, maybe it's 144,000. Maybe it's 144 million.
Mm,
Maybe it's a
mhm.
billion. I don't know, but I know one thing, that if everybody's feeling the way they're feeling, the power of, or let's just say the field that they have or we have now is getting bigger
Mm,
and bigger and bigger and bigger.
mm.
And like tuning forks, I think people are picking up on it.
I agree with you. I agree with you because there is more and more flashing lights walking through, let's call it darkness or shadow. So of course the light will be spread much faster. Um, and it's as well the waking up is happening much faster. Everything is happening much faster.
Yeah.
Let's say you already, if you are, let's say in the crowd, and you are already good few years, lots of experiences. You are not shying away from doing your inner work, shadow work, spreading your light in the way you believe. You design yourself to do it. Another person is gonna pick it up and expand even faster
Right.
through their own light and expression, and thanks to your own light and expressing that light. So they have now not just their own light and connecting to source, they have you and then another and another
Yeah.
and another.
Yeah.
So it grows faster, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we had an experience 2 or 3 years ago, 3 years ago in Hawaii, where in our nightly communion, we were being connected to different levels of the monad. And
Mm,
at one point, Morgan was channeling, and I was watching it. It was like a geometry, and it was showing the 12 in a monad. And then each 12 had 12. And then each one of those had, so it was like that. But it was basically
mhm,
saying that at that time, which was more etherical, and now I think it's more of a physical thing, like with what you were talking about with your client and knowing what was going on. It's like we're tapping in. If I tap into you, or we're merging now, just having a discussion, I'm actually also connecting to Andrea. And I'm connecting to other
mhm,
people that are sensitive or close or kindred to you.
mhm,
So I think that's another thing. The the period of time in linear time that something or that things can happen in, say it's a week or a month or a day, it's so much more happens in this period of time than it did last year or the year
Yes.
before.
And time goes faster. Time goes faster. In scientific way, it's they speak about Schumann resonance because it is so much higher than years before.
Right.
So time seems faster, but it's not just seems faster; it actually goes faster.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had, and I know people can relate to this too. Like it happened to me last night. Like the creativity has picked up a lot, and I've heard other people
Yes.
talking about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, it was like 3:30 in the morning or something, and I was tired. I could barely keep my eyes open, and I hung up with Morgan on the Zoom, and I just turned on some music, and I just started writing, and next thing I know, it was 2.5 hours later. I thought, what the hell just happened? And I messaged her, and I'm like, hey, I'm still up. She goes, what are you doing? You crazy? Because now it's like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. But yeah, those things happen. Like I'll go drive somewhere, and the next thing I know, I'm there, and I'm like, how the hell did I get here? Like I don't even remember. Because when I get behind the wheel, I have to think about driving now, like I never did before, too.
Wow. So you're like placed in even more in now moment, in presence,
Yeah.
back into your body. Because that's
Well,
what I believe this lunar energy is all about. Get us so much deeper inside, which it can be scary if there is, some old emotion trapped over there, like
yeah,
guilt or shame. We've been conditioned to do everything to run away from it. So of course the mind says no, but the energy helps us go deeper to release it,
yeah,
helps us to transmute it into a different frequency.
yeah, yeah. That's a good point. And I've had two things happen in the last 3 or 4 days. They just came out of the blue, which
Hmm.
I've heard people saying that. God, Why is this being shown to me, or why am I remembering this? And one of them was really, I mean, it was all good. It was all ease and grace. It wasn't a big deal. But I was laying on the couch, and I knew I was. That's another thing. You get connected, or you're basically have the urge to go lay down or whatever. That's happening to a lot of people. So that had happened to me, and I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I started being taken down this road very quickly, very painlessly of what would you call it? The root of sexual distortion in this incarnation. In this incarnation. So it was the first
Hmm.
moment that sex became bad or nudity became bad or something. I was probably like 2 or 3 years old. And I was told, like, put some clothes on. That's you know what I mean? It's like a little kid running around and have
Hmm.
sisters and I was taken to that moment. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. Like and I was shown this is where it started. Like this is where you became self conscious. This is where you started to
Okay.
associate this is where you started to associate something bad with being naked or something's wrong
Okay.
with you. And I was like, wow, that's
Okay. Did you
crazy.
connect? Did you connected that to that beginning of the Bible when they say Adam and Eve they become ashamed of being naked?
No, I didn't. I've heard that before. But yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of feeling. And it just, as quick as it came in, it just, it was gone. And I
Mm. But
knew,
it stayed with you. But it stayed with you, the
yeah,
memory, the feeling.
yeah. But I knew in that moment that it was all clear, that that it
Wow.
had finally been cleared. And I have to think that this type of thing is happening to a lot of people, like you said, with the moon energy going deeper inside yourself.
Mm.
I know a lot of people are very quiet right now.
Mm.
They really are spending
Yes.
a lot of time alone,
Yeah.
no doubt.
I've been talking a lot until this afternoon. I've been talking little for about a week and a half. for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
So I can relate. I can relate.
Yeah, I've touched base with some friends, and everyone's like, "Yeah, whenever it happens, whenever I see you down the road, whenever it happens, or I can't talk this week, or I can't even talk next week." So
Wow.
people are on it. I
Yeah.
think we're really
Yeah.
on it, and I don't think there
Mm.
doesn't seem to be as much projection, like
Mm.
people getting extreme emotionally, and
Mm.
so I guess it's a question of when.
So what do you feel about that flash? Because you mentioned that at the very beginning
I, you
of
know, I
horizon.
I don't know. I've never felt like it was something that could literally happen. I do think that things come in stages. Morgan and I both think that. Obviously, we see the stages. We all see it. But in the last 5 weeks, the stages have moved so fast, so much faster than the one before,
Yeah. Yeah.
that it makes you think, well, maybe something like that could happen. I mean,
Mm.
I can hold it in my mind's eye what it's like. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's flashing in like lucid dreams. Like the
Mm-hmm.
feeling in a lucid dream, the atmosphere, the
Mm.
mood in lucid dreams, the whole experience in a lucid dream. I feel that. The timelessness, the spacelessness, yeah, and then we have like weird things happen too. Like, how did this go? I was laying on the couch, and I had the door and the windows open, and somebody walked, and I could just see it in my peripheral. Somebody walked
Mm.
past. No one ever walks around my place, and I've been here a year and a
Mm.
half. I hear very distinct footsteps, and I look
Okay.
in my peripheral, and I see like a white, silhouette. And then
Mm-hmm.
I look, and there's nobody there. So I get up, I walk outside, I open the door, nobody's there. So then I come back, I lock the door, I walk to the kitchen. I just locked the screen door. And as soon as I walked to the kitchen, my back was still there. I heard the footsteps again.
See?
And
Wow.
I turn around and no one's there. So at
Mm.
the same time that happened, Morgan lay down to take a nap. And as she was doing it, somebody started walking down the hallway where she's at.
Again.
Nobody's in the house.
Wow.
And
Wow.
somehow or another, there was some type of
Mm-hmm.
bleeding over with our, like you
Oh.
said with Andrea, like you go into meditation,
Mm-hmm.
it was something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that was
Because
going on. Yeah.
because each time we go with that higher frequency and bring it here, it opens another opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everything is infinite. So once you reach this level you never reached before, if you are in this really specific present moment, because you are watching, what is it, you are present, something else is happening, like another window is opening, another thing to see. And I believe that's never ending. That's never ending. There is just constantly more and more to see. And when was it, 2 days ago, I was meditating on the couch and I could feel hand here on that hand. I could feel a hand over here. And then the last time it happened 2 days earlier. And before that, it was a long time before I felt that. And my puppies, we have two puppies, 7 months old. They are still learning who is the boss, who is not the boss, who is the alpha, who is not the alpha, right? So if someone would all of a sudden sit next to me, they would come and say, no, no, she's mine, right? So what one of them did, he literally sat on that place. He came up, little Puccino, poodle. He said, sit down over here for a good few seconds, like, no, I'm climbing it. This is mine. She is mine. And then just sat next to me. Because when I meditate, they're just, they're just like glued for this energy. So yeah. I love that you shared that, and I love that we speak about it, because this is what I believe the next stage is about. Us evolving to the level of being in few dimensions at the same time,
Yeah.
actively, and functioning effortlessly and flawlessly with grace through it all,
Yeah.
bringing from one dimension to another what ever is for our greatest good.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that the only thing really holding us back right now is our belief system, like
Oh
how
yeah.
fast something can happen or whatever. Because at some point, we can do anything instantly. I mean,
That's true.
that's really what it gets down to,
So
you know.
good.
So at some point, you go, okay, well, why am I holding anything back?
Yeah.
And if you look at the pattern of, like you were talking about with the
Oh
heart and the expression, why wouldn't it just continue to ripple, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
so we're going to play in dimension and get together in groups and meditate and uh, engage these experiences we have, like you're talking about. If a being
Mhm.
comes to you and wants to merge, and you know, run from it, and I mean, I think it's happening, and I agree with you. And I'm saying this going back 10 years, but every time I look up, we've gone faster and farther than anyone thought.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the date keeps moving up because
Yeah. I don't know if you listened a lot to Dolores Cannon.
yeah,
So the thing that I truly believe, I don't watch much, I don't consume much,
right,
just because I'm creating more than I consume.
right,
So I believe that when I hear something, it is exactly what I meant to hear. So out of the whole video, I can just watch 1 minute and I will hear exactly what I needed to hear.
yeah,
And I remember Dolores Cannon saying that what's happening right now is the biggest show in a whole wide world and everyone is watching.
exactly,
Okay. And the second she said that, I heard that just a few days ago, I seen the internal vision of everyone being all around. And
yeah.
I mean everyone.
I
You
agree.
know,
Yeah,
yeah. And I don't know if you like, first time I was connected with my family of light, with my team of guides, when I was in that experience in my previous house, in the bedroom, maybe 3 years ago, maybe four, all of a sudden, like with my eyes closed, I'm opening my eyes and the room is filled. The room is filled
yeah.
with beings of light and as well all the possible farm animals. Turns out I'm a big farm animal lover. I have everything, a duck, a chicken, everything, a best friend, and being able to feel and see that love. So if everything is happening now, everyone is watching, they are here and now with us. And I believe now we're waking up to feel it and see it more bit
Yeah.
by bit.
Well, I think there's a lot of truth to that. When I first woke up and I was on the streets, I heard I had my biggest. I think it was. I don't know if it was the biggest. It was one of the 5 or 10 biggest episodes I had, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you know I'm in a park, sleeping on, or you know laying on a bench, and I heard very distinctly in words, everything you've ever done, everyone will know. And it just freaked me out. I went, "Oh my god," because I was pretty wild, you know, and I still was at
Mm.
the time even. And then I understood what it was saying was that everyone would know everything about each other. So really, a pure telepathic field.
Yeah.
So when you talk about what Dolores Cannon was putting out there in regard to, yeah, I've had that experience. It's been a while, but I had that experience when we were in Hawaii broadcasting in 2019 for a couple of weeks, where I guess you would say like Galactic or family was coming in, and
Mhm.
they were showing me and telling me how everyone watches the show. Like it's a much
Yeah.
bigger audience, and so this would be applied to all of us. No matter how small or how many people are watching or not watching, everything that we're doing is a very unique code, and everyone watching us has a piece of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
This is so beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah, because if you will look at us as a fractals of light, all of it is in the field.
yeah,
All of it is in the field. And it's so crazy you're mentioning 2019, because this is when I had these connections. This is when I had these connections, these visions. It's starting very gently to not scare me, very gently, and then it grows and grows and grows, and then boom! All of a sudden, Arcturian lady is appearing in my vision, and it is huge. But that was 2019
Right.
when I had these galactic connections, when I had these visions all the time in every
Yeah.
single meditation. Very loving, very beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, what's been happening to me, but, and probably all of us, I mean, with, but not real fast, just a little bit every day, a little bit every day. And that's
Uh-huh.
it. That seems to be how everything's going, really, you know, but because if we look at where we are now compared to say 5 years ago, we go, man, this is
Oh,
really going on. But sometimes when you're
yeah.
in the present, you forget. But and what it is through the conscious awake moments when I'm experiencing, let's say, sensitivity to other aspects of myself, dimensionality. I might see, oh, I'm on a planet, I'm standing here, what am I doing? You know, or but whether it's that or lucid dreams or
Mm.
even sessions, there's, it probably applies more to lucid dreams, but there's something I'm closer to. Like I can see this tall white being, and I remember I was talking to him last night, or I can remember Morgan and I were in this big house and we were decorating, and it feels like, it doesn't feel like a imagination or dream. It feels like a real memory, not like
Yes.
memories from our past in this
No, no, it's
incarnation,
more
but
real.
yeah, there's something about it. It's like
Yes.
and it's weird because there's all these sound. I don't want to say, like, let's say there's a multiple tones and frequencies and wavelengths and colors, and that's how all the information and the experience is felt. And so I wonder, having those types of experience, which would be similar. I've had out of body experiences, and a lot of people have. But you know, when you get in that field and you're like, oh my God, this is great. I don't want to go back. But imagine that happening. Yeah, somebody said it's HD. Like, yeah, imagine that happening. Imagine that's happening to all of us, and how
Yeah.
strong that would be, how big of an influence that'd be on us, because it would totally alter our behavior. It would reduce all doubts. We wouldn't be doubt. Oh, I'm not crazy. There is such thing as a star seed or a light worker, or I come from this planet, or I see fairies, or whatever it is. You know, people will be more open because it'll be more obvious.
Yes, but at the end of these experiences, because they're so real, they're like piercing through your psyche because they are beyond this life.
Yeah.
They're going, they have bigger spectrum. There is a bigger light from higher dimension as well. So they hold more light. They will be piercing through more. There will be feeling like the biggest thing you will ever remember. That there will it more memorable in than what you ate last week. You know.
This is what happened last time. Last time we only made it 13 minutes. She's a cool sister. We should get her and Andrea on at the same time. I believe this is her, Frozen, or is it me? Let me check. No, it's her. Well, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. Hello, Kealoha. Bruce. Oh, here she's back. Here we go.
Oh yeah, it broke again. Like
It's
energy. A
okay.
lot
We're almost at the end anyway, but it's okay. We should get you and Andrea on it sometime. That'd be interesting.
Definitely, this is crazy because we've been talking about I'm so guided, so divinely guided to do something with Andrea consistently, but So Andrea has her own thing, I do my own thing, but I'm guided to do the thing that it's just me and Andrea, and talk about more about awakened relationships. So
Yes.
my plan is to, yeah, we can definitely hop in here. She would love it. She
Let's
would
do it.
be yeah, let's set up the date. Andrea would love to do
Let's
that.
do it. Yeah, I think that'd be
Yeah,
fantastic. We've had a lot of
yeah,
couple. We've had a lot of couples on over the years.
yeah.
We had a whole bunch of them on in October, November last year. But man, November and October of last year, in every aspect, including sacred union types of relationships, I mean, it's not even the same thing anymore. Everything's
No.
so different.
Yes. And the relationships that used to last people a lifetime, now it's a month or two or a year, and that's it. Okay, we're done, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to have any longevity in a relationship that was either already begun or began in the last 10 years is an accomplishment. It is a
Yeah.
huge accomplishment, and it is and I know we're all perfectly imperfect. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I think it's a testament to what we're all doing to be able to carry that beyond ourselves with someone else in
Yeah.
a in a contemporary way where like you don't worry about Andrea handling her business. She doesn't worry about you. I don't worry about Morgan handling her business.
Exactly.
She doesn't worry about me. You when you're in a relationship and the person's first commitment is to their own self-awareness, self-reliance, self-responsibility, it's just a
Yeah.
whole different deal.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a whole different dimension. You come from wholeness to wholeness and you share it. You share it in an imperfect way as well. But this is exactly it, Todd. This is exactly it. Because we've been brought up to believe that she's supposed to make me happy. You know, it's
Right.
their job to make me happy.
Or
We've
he's
been brought
supposed
up.
to do this and she's
Yeah,
supposed to do that and
exactly. And they're supposed to know what I think. And they're supposed to fulfill my needs and desires because that's what they are here for. And,
exactly.
exactly. So I'm so grateful that that system collapsed. It has no chance. That's why people don't know how to deal with stuff, how to be in relationships until they deal with whatever it is
Yeah.
within them. um yeah, but I'm so grateful for people like you and your beloved spreading the word and sharing exactly that
Yeah.
frequency, that you are not taking, you're not worrying about your partner. You are taking care of yourself
Right.
first,
Right. Well,
and then
and
you come
yeah,
together with a different frequency.
exactly. Well, and then you take it out into the world, right? I mean, that's really
Yeah.
what we're doing. I mean, it's I mean, when you treat yourself with reverence and respect and honor, you automatically do it with everyone else. It's
Yes.
impossible not to.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't because there's a
Yeah.
personal integrity thing that
Yeah.
seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think the other thing
Mhm.
is the eyes, right? Like the eyes are the mirror of the soul, the
Mhm.
windows of the soul, or whatever. How the silence speaks.
Mm.
How we're talking less but with more substance.
And
And
we breathe differently. That's
yeah,
another. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like time, and it's just like what you said about work or what we do to create abundance or however you want to say that. It's like we're doing less and getting more.
That's the age of Aquarius. That's the yin. That's the yin. That's the feminine um, energy of being in a receivership mode instead of going and chasing and getting. We trust the universe. We take action. We detach from the outcome because we know we are divinely taken care of. So it's a different way of operating. I love that you're speaking about that. I love it.
We'll have to do it again. I'll reach out to you. Either Morgan
Okay,
will or I will, and we'll get you and Andrea on here. And don't forget,
phenomenal.
we're just right up the street Where are you at in Florida?
Where are you? Where are
I'm in
you?
Arkansas. I'm in Arkansas, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
I am in Bel Air, so that's not far away from Tampa and
Oh,
St. Petersburg and
yeah, yeah.
Largo.
I
Yeah,
lived in Tampa 3 times.
there
I
you
lived in
go.
Tampa, Miami, and Jacksonville.
Nice.
But anyway, we have a Soulogy Fest, September 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Hmm.
And well over half the stage time is going to be for people that come. We do everything spontaneously. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
last year we had 18 hours of the 34 hours was
Uh-huh.
just people we pull up from the audience.
Uh-huh.
What do you want to share your story or
Whoa.
play the didge or play guitar or
Amazing.
dance or just different light language.
Heart driven. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have to
Amazing.
keep that in mind. More
Would
information will
you
be
be able?
hmm?
Yeah, would you be able to send me a link? Would you be able to send me a link and information?
When the time comes. Yeah, we don't have it up yet, but it's
Okay.
coming. I'm still working on the place.
Awesome.
It's going to be
Awesome.
4.5 months from now, so it'll be plenty of time. But yeah, it should be out
Amazing.
within a couple of weeks, I would think. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in, and
Thank you. Thank you for being you, doing what you're doing, and having me here as well. Thank you.
absolutely, I look forward to seeing you and Andrea and in the future. Peace out.
Thank you so much.